All right. Welcome back. What's happening, family? What is going on? What is going down around the town? What's happening, y'all? What's happening? All right. So, let's dive right into this video. I hope my music is not too loud and you can all hear me. Matter of fact, let me turn it down just a little bit. Let me come right here. Something going on with my volume. It won't even let me, Poindexter over here. He's old. He, she, whatever. It's old. Okay? It's not a person. It's old. So, yeah. I'm gonna stay like right about. I think that sounds good. What y'all think? That's good? Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. So, let's go ahead and I'm gonna keep it right there. So, what's happening, y'all? What's happening? Welcome back. Oh, let me get the sign. Cause some of y'all need to be reminded. See that? What it say? Check your energy before you come in my shit. Cause right now you in my house. And welcome back for another.
Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. You must learn.
Oh yeah, because we all must learn. We must learn. It never stops. I told y'all it never stops. It is an ongoing process because information is forever being downloaded, new things are forever being found. You understand what I'm saying? New things are forever being found, and that's probably why my man right here, Horace Butler, entitled this book When Rocks Cry Out. When Rocks Cry Out. Such an excellent title, because when the rocks start to cry out, when the rain starts to come down and it brings new things up, unearths new things. Yeah, this is why you have to keep going. And I know, I understand, I overstand. It is a long, hard road. As I mentioned before in another video, it is a long, hard road. And for many of our people, we become discouraged. People, period. But for many of our people, we become discouraged because it seems like when it comes to our story, it's just so dismantled and it's so scrambled. You know what I mean? That you can't keep track of it. It's like, okay, so we ain't African now. So it wasn't in the millions. The slave trade, it wasn't in the millions. So we American Indians now. The first Americans were my color, my complexion, my hue. So and then it's just so much that, like I said, a lot of people get discouraged, and you just like, man, listen, especially for my younger folks, my younger brothers and sisters, the younger Nijis, you know what I mean? They really feel like, look, I'm done with all of that, man. I don't want to hear none of that. You know what I mean? Don't bring to me none of that. They definitely don't want to hear nothing about the out of Africa story. I mean, I talk and rap with my young people all the time. You understand what I'm saying? And they tell me out their own mouth they don't want to hear it because they just can't, it's just too much. It's too messy. I can't make the connection. I was running around here talking about power to the people. I'm African. We Africans and da 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 and da da da. And now y'all bringing to me something new, something different, and they can't figure out how to make the connection. So, like I said in this channel, I like to try and make the connection, make that transition a little smoother. So, if you watched the last video, entitled Getting Back to Big Mama's House, turning my heater down. Getting back to Big Mama's house. Then, in the end of that, it was part 3. Because it was a 3-part, right? I didn't mean to make it a 3-part. I didn't have intentions to start it off that way. It just went that way, you know. So, yeah, in part 3, I ended it off showing you guys some pictures and talking about the old racist nursery rhyme that none of you should ever allow your children to recite. Don't even recite it to your children. If it is a part of their school curriculum, you need to tell that teacher your child cannot participate in that, especially if your child is melanated, copper color, copper tone, copper color. You understand what I'm saying? They will not be participating in that, you know. And for my baby girl, Keisha, I know you'll be watching these videos, you know, because you do be rocking with your moms, you know what I'm saying? You'll be rocking with your mother. Thank you for that. Big shout out to you. Make sure you don't ever recite that or allow my grandbabies to recite it, okay? It has very, very racist connotations, which I'm going to get into all of that in the video. So, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, you see, I ended that last video off talking about that nursery rhyme, right? Showing you some photos and things like that. Well, I'm going to pick up from there. I said in that video that I wanted to do something about that. The 1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indian, that nursery rhyme. So in this video, that's what I'll be presenting to you guys. And I want to do this because I want to really make the connection for my younger people and for my people in the back, my Johnny come lately folk. I want to make the connection of how us being called niggers don't have everything to do with just African slaves being called niggers, because we always tend to think that. We always tend to think that the term nigger, you know, which coincidentally comes from, and I'm reading this from here, pbs.org, okay, in case any of you want to just go ahead and check this out on your own and read this entire passage, which I'm not going to do. I'm just going to come right here to the top and I'm going to read from here. Nigger, also spelled nigar, a word that is an alteration of the early nigger, derives from the French négre, from the Spanish and Portuguese negro. And if you think about it, it really just means black, right? Negro. We see this even on a can you see this even on a can of black beans. So we see that this is deriving from the Spanish and the Portuguese, which is why you see it like on a can of black beans, you know, anything in dealing in reference to black. So the Spanish and Portuguese negro, from the Latin niger, nigger, well, let's just say Niger, black, first recorded in 1587, originated with the dialectical pronunciation of Negro in Northern England and Ireland. Anti-Bias Study Guard, Anti-Defamation League, 1998. Okay, so that's just to give you all a little history of the word nigger. But nigger, of course, is a term, a word that was given to denote your value, denote your wealth, make you feel low, and have that, you know, self-loathing of yourself, you know. So it's really not a good term, you know what I mean? But I know that today it is a colloquialism that we, many of us, black folk, copper colored folks, melanated folks, however you identify yourself. I'm not going to keep on saying that. You know what I'm talking about. You know who I'm referring to. It is a term, a colloquialism that many of us we use to identify ourselves. You know, what up, nigga? And you think that because you put the A on the end that it no longer has that negative connotation, but you can't do that. You can't unboil an egg. Okay, so yeah. But hey, listen, I'm not here to do all that, get into all that. I'm here to make this connection. So we see right here, this is a picture of an obvious melanated woman, right? She's got the afro, she's got the nose ring, big loop ring in her nose, big loop earrings in her ear, okay? And which a lot of people would say excuse me, a lot of people will say, oh well, she an African. You know, especially my young people, you know, even my older people, you'll immediately say, look, see, nigga, she an African. She an African because they called all the Africans niggas. That's where it come from. Well, actually, no, that's not necessarily true. See what I'm saying? The word nigga was also used to identify those copper-colored, melanated, indigenous people of the Americas. Yes. So when we look at pictures like this, you see here Sambo. Sambo. Somebody might say, well, how you know that has something to do with the Indians? Well, a lot of times what they would do is they would always leave some type of clue in the picture to let you know that they were specifically referring to those copper-colored Aborigine indigenous people found here by the Europeans. All you got to do is go to the Webster 1828 dictionary, okay, and look up the word of American, and it will tell you that was the copper-colored people found here by the European. Okay, I got a little 10-minute snippet video I put up here. It was really from my TikTok, but I put it up here anyway, you know what I mean? But you can find that out. Just go ahead and Google Webster 1828 dictionary, and you'll find that there. Okay? Very easy to find. You can even download the app to your phone. Alright? But yes, this was to let you know with this bull's eye, which is normally used with the what? The bow and arrow, right? You shoot the bow and arrow at the bullseye. That was to let you know that this is referring directly to those people, those black people who inhabited the Americas, north, south, the Americas, right? So, we can look right here. You see it? Black face, big lips, you know. A lot of people, they just automatically, we refer this to those descendants of the slaves that came over here with the transatlantic slave ship. You understand what I'm saying? In captivity, you know. But we can look right here and we can see another one. Let's go right here. See, they were using us. This is how they did. They used us to advertise their businesses. Back then, it was 9 times out of 10 always some big lip, red lip, black face character being used with their advertising for their products, for their business. You understand what I'm saying? Move forward. Here go another one. We see the word again. Nigger. Makeup without blacking, complete with hat, slipped on or off in minutes. No burnt cork or muss. Now I can't blow this up to read it. I tried that earlier. It's just too foggy. Can't read that. But nigger makeup. You see it right here. It was even the company's name. Nigger makeup. That was their name, right? Nigger. This was supposed to be a American Indian, a black native of the Americas. Yes, we see it here. Well, this one don't say nigger, but this one is using a straight up Indian on the cover, right? We see another one. We see another one, you know, dark skin, red lips. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously, this one is a little more up in time. You understand what I'm saying? This one is not as old as those other ones I just showed you. But we see this is one for General Electric. Again, using the blackface. Now, it's sad because General Electric's GE is a household name. We all grew up with most of our appliances, refrigerator, stove, washing machine, dryer, etc., being made and manufactured by General Electric's GE. But as you will find that most of these big name companies, they too were in on the whole propagating of using black bodies, black folk, to help them grow their business, but not in a good way. No. You wasn't up there posing and, you know, you wasn't doing all this and showing all off and none of that. As you see, you understand what I'm saying? He's smiling, but this just a picture. Okay, he's smiling doing what? Eating a piece of fried chicken. Cause, you see it? Cause what they say, niggas love chicken. Niggas love fried chicken more than anything else in the world. Wasn't that the thing that they would always associate us with? Fried chicken, watermelon, all of that. You understand what I'm saying? And it was, what's my man name? Thomas Edison was one of the people that propagated that whole niggas love watermelon thing. You understand what I'm saying? That is a piece that you can look that up. I have it somewhere in my notes. I'm not going to pull that up right now because I already got everything pulled up that I want to use for this video. But, you know, and here's another one. Now, this one we can't see. I can't blow it up too much because it's really, really not a good copy. I snatched it from somewhere. I don't know. Probably online. But it's not really a good copy, but I will blow it up a little bit just to bring it closer to the screen. See, here's another one. Again, what did I tell y'all? They always put something in the image to let you know exactly who they was referring to when they called you nigger. Nigger head tobacco, which I looked this company up. I'm going to show that to you in a minute. You see here, he's holding up the bull's eye with the arrows, right? This is to let you know this was in reference to a Native American, okay? An American Indian. Alright, copper colored, dark complexion, melanated people that were found here by the Europeans when they came, right? Nigger. So you see, nigger don't have nothing to necessarily do with the transatlantic slave trade and slaves from Africa, okay? So, see another one? All of these, just blackface, all of these, just blackface. When you see these, know from now on that these are all in reference to those Indians, Native Americans, if you will. But we know that term Native American came later down the line, only so that they could be able to get privilege to the land, so that their offsprings could, you know, be able to be included in the land. You understand what I'm saying? Once they got rid of all of us, and once they made way, you understand what I'm saying? I know there's this whole thing going on where there's this battle right now. Look, I told y'all I'm not here for all that with the battling back and forth. We ain't no Indians, we is Africans and blah blah blah, whatever. Like I said, and I stand by that until I am proven beyond a shadow of a doubt there is no connection. I still feel as though they are our distant cousins. And when I say distant, I go back to the migration. Okay? And that's what I learned, from what I learned according to the history that I studied, that I learned, okay? And so you can see so many of these pictures, and you can find so many of them where they are actually saying nigger. Now let's jump over here to Google real quick, and I'm gonna move around a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna try not to make this video too long. I'm gonna truncate it as much as possible. Okay? So, now, this book right here is entitled Indian Slavery in Colonial Times Within the Present Limits of the United States. Now, I'm not going to read this entire book to you. You can go to Google Play Store and you can download this book on your phone, download the Google Play Store app, or you can go online if you're on a Windows PC. You can go right over here to, let me show you real quick. You can come like to a new tab. You can go to wherever your apps are. You can go inside your apps and you can scroll through your apps, and here you will find books, and then you can just simply search this title right here, right? So what I want to show you guys in this book is this. Now, this book is an old library book. Yes, a library book. But what I'm about to show you, a lot of you are going to be like, what? I ain't never seen none of that. Well, at one point in time, baby, this was all in the books. See what I'm saying? Because they were so sure that you ain't know how to read. You know, black folks wasn't allowed to read. Remember, during slavery, black folks were not allowed to read. So even after Emancipation Proclamation 1865, okay, even after that, they still were sure and certain that, oh, them niggas ain't gonna be able to catch up, not that fast. They ain't gonna be able to read it, so we good. But once they saw how fast we was on it, we was moving, they hurried up and snatched a lot of this information out the books. But still to this day, and I implore you and suggest that if you want this book, hurry up and get on over there before, because a lot of these things, they're snatching it down. They're snatching it down so that we don't get the information, right? So now I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about here with the library thing. Okay, so look right here. What it say? The University of Illinois Library. We all know what a library card look like, because back in the days, especially if you my age and older, you know what I mean, back in the days, you had to go to the library. You couldn't just get online or just Siri, tell me what such and such and such a mean, and how to spell blah blah blah, and what region of the world is Columbia in, and you know what's the capital of Columbia in Dakota, and you know you couldn't do all that. You had to go to the library. You had to sit your butt down with a big old dictionary or encyclopedia, you know, Britannica, and you had to do research, real work. See what I'm saying? But now, you know, on this information highway, we ain't gotta do none of that. Everything is at the tip of your fingertips right now. It's at the tip of your fingers right now. You know, all you gotta do is boop boop boop, or click 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 on your PC, boop 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 on your phone. Hey Siri, hey Google, and there you go, right? But this is a library card for my young folks, my folks that don't know. Yeah, this is a library card, okay? You used to get this little card right here. They would stamp the date that you took the book out, and then when you brought the book back, you know, they would stamp your thing, and you had to have your little library card, and like a little ID card that you had to keep with you. And when you was late, they'd fine you. You know, it might have been 10 cents every late day back then. Might have been a quarter. I don't know how much it is now, to tell you the truth, man. I don't know how much it is. You know, I just go right to online, Amazon or wherever, and get all my books, you know, or download them on my Google Play or my Amazon Kindle, right? Or a bookstore, wherever, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's not what I really wanted to show you, but you know, it was cool to show that. So let's keep moving over this way. I'm gonna show you something else. So right here you see Indian slavery in colonial times within the present limits of the United States by Almond Wheeler Luber, PhM. Submitted in partial fulfillment of the requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the in the Faculty of Political Science. And it's a short read. As you see, it's only 324 pages. But look, right here's what I really wanted to point out. Copyright is 1913. You see what I told y'all? At one point in time, this information was in the books. But when they started to realize, oh, niggas is getting smart, y'all. They learning mighty fast. Snatch it out. And that ain't no dagger, that ain't no shot. That's according to history. Okay? So, you know, but what I want to show, I'm going to move this slider right here. So what I want to show is right here. Look right here. Now look at these. This is all I want to show right here. This is what I'm using this part for, to show this. South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, New York. Now, as I showed you, and as we see with the title, this is all in reference to the who? The Indians. Now, and it's funny because what is the title of the book? Indian slavery. Doesn't say Native American slavery. It doesn't. It doesn't say American Indian slavery. It just says Indian slavery, right? Indian slavery. But as we see, this is all taking place all throughout the Carolinas, Maryland, Massachusetts, even big old New York. Okay, the Big Apple. Okay, my hometown, right? My home city, state. But yeah, all through here, New Hampshire, all throughout here, New Jersey, this was all considered Indian territory. This is all had part to do with the Indians. Okay, land that was occupied by who? The Indians. Okay, and who do we know for being all throughout the South? As black folks, when you think about the South, you think about black folks. I mean, listen, I'm not saying white folks ain't down south too, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about to my melanated folks right now. When we think about the South, we think about, yeah, that's where my family at, my folks and them, you know, they all down there. You know, we all from around there. You know, we all from down that way. You know, my folks down from you know, down south. You know, the dirty. When you think about the dirty, you think about your kinfolk. You think about black folk. You understand what I'm saying? And again, you always associate it all with slavery. You always associated with slaves, right? Not realizing that much of your folk down there was already there. That was their land. They were already there on that land, and that land was in your family, right? You don't associate it with that. So I just wanted to show this very quickly to make that correlation. Yeah, look right here what it says. It says, in the South, the strongest tribes were the Choctaw and Chickasaw, right? These tribes were not only at war with each other from time to time, but each preyed upon the weaker tribes of the surrounding country. Now let me explain something to y'all. Do not, and I'm going to repeat, do not take all the words of this book. If you feel inclined to download this book, do not take all the words of this book at face value. Do your homework. Do your homework. Go behind what you read here and further validate it. You understand what I'm saying? Investigate it. You know what I mean? Research it. Because of course, we should know that by now, much of the information in this book has been tampered with. Okay, if you believe that they're just going to give us all the real deal and for free, I don't think I need to say no more. You know the ending to that, right? You know. Take that out to show you that most of us that's down in the South, where your family may be, where you may be, talk to your family, man. Talk to Big Mom and them if she's still around. I pray that she is. and that you can talk to her, and that she, you know, she's well enough and has all her faculties, enough of her faculties that she can recall and is ready to now open up and speak to you. Because as I stated in another video, a lot of times our elders, they don't want to go back there because they don't want to relive that horrific time in their life. You feel what I'm saying? And we must be patient with them, and we must be over and understanding. You understand what I'm saying? And not be selfish, but be selfless. Okay? And keep their feelings in mind at all times, right? But Choctaw and Chickasaw. Okay, so for most black folks, this where your roots is, baby. Your roots is here with the Choctaw and the Chickasaw and the Cherokee. Your roots are here, and you can look through much literature and you will find and see that same thing. Okay, look right here. What does it say right here? We see the word black. So I'm just using this to point out some things, and at a later time, another time, we will do a little more deep diving into this book as well as other books. But like I said, I ain't here to do, you know, the whole scholarship. You know what I mean? I am, but then again, I'm not. I leave that up to those that, you know, my brothers and sisters that's really you doing it when it comes to this area. Dane Calloway, Top Cat, you understand what I'm saying? Chief Supreme, you know, Sister Bethany, you know, Phoenix Moon. That I leave that up to y'all. You know, we don't all need to be masters of all the same areas. As long as we got soldiers out there like you all, the information gonna get out. It's gonna get out, and I hope you continue your fight, because I know it's not easy. It's not easy, especially trying to reach our knuckleheaded people. Okay, but this is where most of your roots are. If your family is down these parts, down south somewhere, this is where most of your roots are, right here, baby. Choctaw, Chickasaw, Cherokee, okay, Chicoma, all of that. You understand what I'm saying? They there. It's there. You know, it's there. What's very interesting to me is how people like to argue the fact that those of us who say we have some type of Indian relation, bloodline, they say that we're crazy. We got it all wrong. We don't know what we're talking about, right? Now this is what I say. You can make the connection by just simply reading. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have to become a scholar at it. Just read, you know what I'm saying? Read certain passages and in certain books, and, you know, even like with this book, you know what I mean? Like I said, don't take every word for word, you know, because we know that this is an older book. It's free. So yeah, they probably 9 times out of 10 tamper with it. Okay? Just like they did when it comes to, you know, pyramids and different artifacts and findings in Africa, in Egypt, and other parts of the world, right, where melanated people inhabited at one time, okay, and still do. But you know, we talking about the ancestors, right? But look right here. Let's just read this little part right here, this little paragraph. The enslavement of the Indians by the Spaniards in the early years of occupation was legalized by a royal decree. Oh, they love their decrees. They love making them damn decrees back in the day, didn't they, y'all? By a royal decree which declared the act to be in accord with the laws of God and man. Ooh, I love the way they like to always put God in there. God did this. God said this. God gave us this right, and you know, we here to save you savages. Cause just like I read from the book, right? They called us the savage Indians, right? Now it's funny because they also called African slaves savages, right? They also said that they were there to save your soul, right? But then we read right here, and we find out that they said and made the same references to the Indians. They had Indians in the same states and places where they had black slaves, African slaves. So, unless it was two types of slavery going on here, then obviously it's obvious that them is us and us is them, and they the same people, right? Gotta be some correlation there. You understand what I'm saying? It's got to be, you know. So, as I was reading here, God and man, and justify it on the ground that Indians could otherwise not be reclaimed from idolatry and converted to Christianity. Ain't that what they told you about the African slaves, y'all? Didn't they say the same thing? We was heathens and we couldn't be a Christian. Maybe in death you might get to go to heaven. That's what they taught you. That's what they taught our great-granddaddy and mamas and them. That maybe in heaven, if you obey your earthly masters and you work hard enough and impress your slave master enough, he even put it in the book. It's even in the book, all through Luke and other verses. It's all in there. Obey your earthly masters, or you will get many lashes. You can look at 12 Years a Slave, where he's standing outside and he's reading it to his congregation, to his slaves, because the slave master held church initially before they started allowing one of the black folks to be the preacher, because they started this is where you see that whole ideology of, if they see one of their own up there saying it and teaching it, it may better sink in. You understand what I'm saying? They'll grab hold of it better like that. So go and let them. But look here, boy. You best make sure you don't say nothing wrong. You read it the way I told you to. Don't be putting your own little spin on it, okay? Your own little spin on it. You say what I told you to say. Read it the way I told you to read it. And yeah. We can see a little bit of that in the movie, what's that movie, with my man, Bob Parker. What's the movie? Okay, I know it's Nat Turner. It's the movie about Nat Turner, Birth of a Nation. That's it, y'all. That shit. You can see it right there. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, listen. There's too much of this information laying around that we not making this connection, and that we still arguing over the same bullshit that we arguing over, because like I said before, y'all ain't arguing with nobody else. Y'all are arguing and warring amongst yourselves. You're not taking this argument and putting it on their doorstep. You take this argument and you put it on your brother and your sister's doorstep, and you condemn and break down your brother and your sister. Now that sounds to me a lot like the same things, the same teachings that they were inducing upon the slaves, right? Don't that sound like that to y'all? Because that's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. Did you get that from your slave master? Did you get that? Is that something that we carry inside of us from our slave ancestors, our enslaved ancestors, those that were enslaved, right? So, you know, I'm just saying. Make no mistake, I am not saying in any way that there were no Africans, if you will, that were enslaved. We know that did happen. That did happen. But the numbers have been shown to be faulty and untruthful, right? But we look right here. We can read right here real quick. I'm gonna read this and then I'm moving on to something else, okay? In Louisiana, Indian slavery began with the founding of the colony. A report of the colony written in 1704 states that a Fort Louisiana, having a white population of 180 soldiers and 27 French families, numbering 64 sons, a total of 244 white persons. There were 6 Indian boy slaves and 12 of 8 years. Wait a minute. Let me start that over. I need to read that from the beginning. Let's do that again. In Louisiana, Indian slavery began with the founding of the colony. A report of the colony written in 1704 states that a Fort Louis de Louisiane, having a white population of 180 soldiers and 27 French families, numbering 64 persons, a total of 244 white persons. So this is how they know that white families in Louisiana in 1704, right? So what it says right here, there were 6 Indian boy slaves from 12 to 18 years of age, and 5 Indian girl slaves from 15 to 20 years of age. In 1708, the colony consisted of 14 officers, 26 soldiers, 13 sailors, 3 priests, 6 mechanics, 1 Indian interpreter, 24 laborers, 28 women, 25 children, a total of 190 free persons. And 80 Indian slaves. You see that? 190 free persons and 80 Indian slaves. In 1713, besides the soldiers, there were 28 families, 20 Negroes. See, this is why I gotta point this out to y'all. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and tell y'all that none of it happened. There was no Africans. The Africans at this time were being labeled as Negroes. See, they did distinguish the black Indians, the black natives, Indians, from the African, right? And they called them Indians and Negroes, right? So the following statistics are given in the archives of the Ministry of Colonies in Paris, excuse me. So look right here. You can go and you can do your research and do some digging around. I implore y'all to do it. Don't just sit here and take my word. I'm just pointing out things, trying to make the correlation. You dig what I'm saying? So right here, Ministries of Colonies in Paris. Census of New Orleans, November 24th, 1721. Recapitulation. Men 446, women 140, children 96, Negro slaves, here we see it again, 523, Indian slaves, here we see Indian slaves. Okay, but yeah, you see Negro slaves, Indian slaves, and as we can see just from the numbers, there were far more Negro slaves. Which means what? There were far more African slaves. So yeah, this is why I never denounce or say that a lot of black folks don't have a reason to be upset. I know why you're upset. I know why we upset. You should be. We should all be. Because it never should have happened. Right? But Census of New Orleans in 1723. Recapitulation. Men bearing arms 229. Women or girls 169. Children 183. Orphans 45. Slaves 267. Right? General Census of the Colony of Louisiana on January 1st, 1726. Recapitulation. Masters 1952. Hired men. So masters Is this 1,952? Hired men and servants 276. Negro slaves 1,540. Indian slaves 229. So we see the numbers, man. It really is a very big difference, right? A very big difference. And so I basically shared all this part just to show you guys that, yo, in time, once upon a time ago, the Indian slaves were black. And here in the Americas, okay? But I want to show y'all something real quick right here before I break out, because I'm about to break out of here, okay? Let me jump over here real quick and see something. Because obviously they were black. Obviously these natives, these Indians, these American Indians, or in copper-colored indigenous people of the Americas were black. Because how else and why else would you have ever created communities such as triracial isolates, where over time you couldn't even distinguish the difference? It was not just because of intermarriage. It was not just because you were making babies and the babies were coming out so dark that you could no longer tell who was the African from the Indian. No, it's because of the fact that obviously the Indians were just as black as you and I, just as dark as I, just as dark as you and I, right? Just as dark as I am. That's obvious, hands down. So to say that we don't have no relation, no correlation with them, that to me is just totally bogus, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense, and the stand or the platform that you are standing on to try and push that envelope is weak. It's weak. It's obvious. It's obvious. You understand what I'm saying?